Season's greetings, sous chef. I'm back at Mom and Pop's house. We are celebrating Christmas here this year, and we are doing our traditional gumbo. Every single year, gosh, probably for the last 10, 12, some odd years, we have had gumbo every Christmas Eve. It's become like a family tradition. And just about as long as it's been a tradition, I've told my dad, I'm gonna learn how to make gumbo this year. And I've gotten bits and pieces, but I never actually sat for the whole process. So today is the day where we are 100% going to walk through the entire process of how to make seafood gumbo. And we just call it gumbo because if you're from Louisiana, it automatically gets seafood. If it doesn't have seafood, we call it something else. But if you just say gumbo, that means everything goes in the pot. So, our time. So Dad is here. He's gonna show me his magic. My mom's already like, oh yeah, you're gonna make it for me when he's away. And I'm just like, you have him. Like, he can make it. So today we're gonna walk through that. Before we get into it, you guys know what we have to do. First, we have to take care of the business, and then we get to the fun. This is your first time here, I wanna say welcome. If you've been here before, I wanna say welcome on back. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe while you're here. And let's get into the video.
Smash that like button.
Smash it. Like.
Hit that bell.
Like.
Subscribe. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna make gumbo. Two main ingredients with gumbo. The main ingredient with any gumbo is your roux. And roux is pretty much just oil and flour. But the best way to do it is with her favorite utensil. Yes, I have one too. So when you start your roux, you have to make, it's like making gravy. You pour in your oil, and then you want to sift in your flour so you don't have any lumps in your roux. So let's start making the roux. So when you're making a roux, you use 1 cup of oil and 1 cup of flour. It's already pre-measured here, so we're gonna get it started. So the skillet's already on, we're gonna put the oil in. And you have to be prepared. Trusty sifter, flour.
Handy dandy sifter.
And you wanna let the oil start heating up, and that you can stir it in so that you don't have lumps. So we're gonna let the oil heat up a little bit more before we start sifting in this flour. So now it looks like the oil is hot enough. You do a little squeeze and see if it starts sizzling. The last thing you need in your roux is lumps. And you can see we got the good sizzle coming up. And stir it in a little bit at a time to make sure that your lumps and your flour is absorbed with the oil. For those who don't have a shifter, a little metal strainer, like the net type strainers, will work just fine. You just don't want clumpy flour, because you know your flour's been sitting in your pantry for over a year. Wine and whiskey are not the only things that are good aged. Aged flour works as well. So get rid of those lumps. And now the key to making roux, once you got all of your flour in there and it's mixed in, is to make it into a chocolate brown texture, which takes a while. So therefore, you turn your fire down and you can stir on a regular basis. And we'll let you see this over time as this happens. But while your roux is browning, it gives you opportunity to do other things, like prep your vegetables and get those ready to go in as well. So let's go do that. All you need for veggies, for seasoning veggies, is garlic and onion. Some people want to put bell pepper in there. They may like to do that. That's okay. But we're going to use garlic and onion. So I'm going to take and chop the onion. Always use a nice sharp knife. If your knife cannot slice your finger off, it's not sharp. One whole onion. But how do we chop? We take shortcut. If you don't have a Ninja, I highly recommend you get a Ninja to get your vegetables chopped. If you happen to go more than chopping your puree, it's okay. It's gonna disappear into your food anyway.
And the great thing about the Ninja, at least this particular one, is it has measuring kind of things on the side. So here we have about 1/4 of a liter. What's 1/4 of a liter?
It's 1 cup, y'all. Just 1 cup of onions.
As we prepare to do the same thing with the garlic. So some of you sous chefs out there, you know that the sous chef does not like to peel garlic. She does not like to chop garlic. She does it shortcut. But I showed her how to peel garlic. It's just like coffee. When you go to Starbucks, do you want your coffee ground or you want it freshly ground before you make your coffee? It's the same with garlic. Freshly peeled, freshly chopped garlic. So that's that. And voila, we have chopped garlic. Wasn't that quick?
Ting!
And while you're doing that, you have to stop and check on your roux. Your roux is getting brown. That was about 15 cloves of garlic. This is going to be a larger pot of gumbo. So there's a big mixture of onions and garlic. Put it in the same container because it's going into the same pot.
Drops mic. Walks away.
I'm the type to clean it as I go because I like my area clean. Another prep that you want to do, because gumbo has sausage in it along with crab, along with shrimp and chicken, is you got to prep that sausage. You got to pre-cook it. We have our pre-chopped sausage, getting ready to be heated up. In another cast iron Dutch oven. You said, why do we have so much cast iron around here? Well, no, that's the way we grew up. All good cooks have big forearms. They stir a lot. If you're not stirring your food, you have small forearms. If you have small forearms,
You can't cook.
you're just gonna put the cover on that Dutch oven.
Okay, sous chefs. To create the amazing stock that you need for a great bowl of gumbo, you need some really great seafood. So here, as most of y'all know, I'm out here in Maryland. We have our Maryland blue crab. That one lost a claw. We got a little bit in the fight. We got Maryland blue crabs, y'all. Look, it's conjoined. It's a conjoined twin. Anyway, so what we're gonna do, we are just going to take the, what's it called?
The back.
The back, which is just this part.
The shell.
The upper shell. If you see, we do have males here. So basically we're gonna just get up under this little piece here. What's it called? This part, the little sticky part.
Pull it back off.
Yeah.
Put it in the water.
And flip that open. And then get your finger in here. And take that off. You see all that guts and intestine? That means flavor. We're gonna boil it up over here in our pot of water. And this is gonna be our stock for our gumbo today. How many of these do you think we're gonna use?
About a dozen.
About a dozen blue crabs with the shells in them. Or the shells off them.
Take the crab after that and you split it in half. After you clean it all up.
Get it in the eyeball. So we're gonna finish up taking the shells and the shell plate off. We have some that we've already done off camera here. Crack them open, clean them up, get our stock going because that's gonna be a huge part of making a great gumbo. So when we're done, we'll be back.
Whenever you're cooking any type of seafood dishes that have a stew or a gravy or some type of soup type of atmosphere, you always have to use stock. You don't just use plain water. So what you use is stock, either the shrimp shells or the crab shells. As you can see there, the crab shells that made that stock there. And the stock is ready, so we can set the stock to the side.
To the left, or to the left, to the left.
And that will reveal you have roux there, sausage here. You gotta heard that when that top came off it.
Sizzle, sizzle.
We'll remove that and you gotta stir. Look at all that stirring going on there. 2 hands are better than one, as they say. Add a little more heat to that. Or trap some more heat by covering it. The next step is to add in your vegetables. And the primary vegetable for gumbo is called okra. For those of you who do not like okra in your gumbo, you're not eating gumbo. You're just eating stuff with seafood in it. There's no okra in it. Okra is gumbo. Gumbo is okra. So this is the pot that the gumbo is going in. What size is this pot? See, it's been used multiple times in the past. Made in Korea, so it's meant to last. 1-pound bag of cut okra.
And here we're just adding 32 ounces or 2 pounds of the okra.
More than 2 pounds, but okay.
We're sauteing this in about 2 tablespoons of olive oil along with the garlic and onions.
Your onion and garlic. Let's saute all of that together. And you go back to darkening your roux. As you notice, the roux takes a while to get dark and stay smooth. We got a milk chocolate roux, but you know I got a great suntan, so I want to get a little bit darker than the milk chocolate. And as you can hear in the background, the vegetables are coming up. So you got to keep those moving too. You need smell-o-vision right about now. Smell-o-vision to come right through that YouTube channel. And smell nothing like sauteed onions and garlic to make you know that somebody is cooking something amazing in the house. Notice in there you're starting to see the okra slime a little bit. That slime is good. It's a natural thickener. So instead of you always having to use flour to thicken your food, okra can thicken it by itself. Trust me, you won't taste the slime. Some people like their gumbo to have whole pieces of okra. I use okra as the gravy. So if you really want a vegetable, you can have a salad. So now we're going to take a strainer and strain in the stock. And where does the stock come from? The chef's real seafood. Couldn't figure out a good seafood flavor. Wow. As you know, we need bay leaves. Bay leaves. A body of bay leaves. Or any kind of bay leaves. Maybe 1, 2, 3 for good measure. When you cook, you're cooking eyes. Also grind in a little black pepper.
We're gonna call that 1 tablespoon, sous chef.
This is the play it by ear with a little oregano. We call that 1/8 of a teaspoon. And some basil, another 1/8 of a teaspoon. Stir that in. And one thing you may have a hard time finding here in the DMV, so if you know somebody in Louisiana or Texas, tell them to go to the store, look in the international food section, and get you some dried shrimp. Extra fancy dried whole shrimp. Flavor packed pills. Just like on the Italian side where you get the flavor in the, what's that called? A little bit of green things.
Capers.
The flavor pack in the caper. This is the seafood pack right there. Wow. Put them all in there.
See, black people always add more than they say they're gonna add. They're like 1 tablespoon and another, but they still tell you 1. Put the whole pack in. Put the whole pack in. You need all of that dried shrimp
Really gonna
flavor.
hurt.
It's not gonna hurt you. It ain't gonna hurt
All right, now that you got all of that coming up, almost bringing all of this back to the boil. It's time to add the roux. You have to be cautious when you add in the roux to this because it kind of bubbles up sometimes.
We got Mama Simmons in the back on vocals.
Not in a rush here. Take your time, get it in. It'll make your roux. And as you can see, we now have a good looking brownish, dirty dishwater look that's going to turn into the beautiful gumbo. You're bringing it all back up to a boil. Now it's time to start adding in the stuff that needs to marry while it's cooking down. So that sausage that you sauteed and drained, you can now add it all back in there. And the other ingredient, which adds flavor, and also another added bonus, is chicken. Use dark meat. So here's about 8 thighs chopped up, just like the Jamaicans chop it up when they're making jerk chicken. But it's all chopped up and it goes into the pot. And so now these ingredients here, we're going to let stir and cook together and marry, because you always put in your seafood last. So the okra has to cook and break down, the chicken has to cook and break down, and the sausage just has to provide more flavor.
It's been what, about 45 minutes?
I don't know how long it's been. I just know.
It's been about 35 minutes. I guess I should get in. It's been about 35 minutes since we let all of this start simmering together. So now it's time to go ahead and start adding some more of our ingredients.
So we like shrimp. And we like a lot of it. So
Y'all
we're
know
gonna
my
add like
Costco shrimp.
about 4 pounds of shrimp. Of course, it was a little bit on the cold side. So that's gonna take a little bit of time to heat back up and marry in, and we'll be back.
There's enough room in that pot.
For all the crab.
Alrighty, you guys. So what we have going on, when you put your shrimp in, you're basically just waiting for it to come back to a boil after you've added your shrimp. Like my dad was saying, ours was a little bit cold, so it took us about 20 minutes. That's not the exact time, but you want to bring your soup back to a boil after you add your shrimp. So now it's time for my favorite part.
A little crab.
The crab. Lay blue crab. We're just gonna put it in one at a time just because we got a lot of soup, a lot of gumbo in this pot. We don't want it to overflow. We don't want it to splash on us. This is where that smooth, rich flavor comes from, and you have to use blue crab. I mean, I guess, no, you do. You have to use blue crab. There's something about the sweetness and the flavor that comes from a blue crab that you don't really get in other crabs, from king or snow crab. We're talking about gumbo here now. But you can't beat the flavor of a blue crab, period. It's very social, it's very fun. It tastes the best to me. And that's just what it is. So we putting it in our gumbo.
It all got in it.
It's time to taste our gumbo. Perfect as it is.
A little secret ingredient. And that'll be it.